Okay. Good morning, everyone. Thank you for being here today with us. We are going to discuss business opportunities that the Polish market offers to smart city companies from Andalusia. For technical reasons, your micros and cameras are off, so please use the chat to make comments and ask questions. Maybe at the end of our webinar, when the Q&A starts, we can switch them on and make the session more interactive, as I can see that we are not so many, so it will be manageable, I think. My name is Marcin Siemdaj, and I am director of the Extenda office in Poland. Extenda agency belongs to the government of Andalusia, and our role is to support regional companies in their international expansion, both in exports and foreign investment. Our office in Warsaw was established in 2002, and we've been working in Poland since there. There are two institutions cooperating with us today. The first one is Smart Factor, a Polish technological company that will talk about smart city sector in Poland and their experience in implementing smart solutions and projects together with Polish cities. There has been a little change in the program. So instead of Szymon Ciupa, Smart Factor, is represented today by Alicja Czaplicka, R&D expert at the company. Welcome, Alicja. The other institution is Wrocław Agglomeration Development Agency that will give us an overview of what Wrocław agglomeration is and what are the business opportunities there for foreign investors. Our speaker's name is Aleksandra Kłonowska-Drozd, Head of Foreign Investment in the agency. At the end of today's session, I will mention a few services that Extenda offers to Andalusian companies and some projects we are going to organize this year. So let's begin. I would like to give the floor to Alicja Czaplicka from Smart Factor. Alicja, the floor is yours.
Okay, thank you so much. I want to upload my presentation. Tell me if you can see it.
Yeah, we can see it.
Okay, so my name is Alicja Czaplicka, and today I'm going to represent Smart Factor company. At the beginning, I want to talk about tools and technologies and solutions we provide. And then I want to discuss a little bit about smart city concept and some projects and implementations in Polish cities. I will turn off the camera because I am a little bit worried about the connection. So, okay, so let's begin. Let me introduce Smart Factor. We are a Polish technology company founded in 2017. We specialize in acquiring, analyzing, and using city data in city management. We create digital twins of cities. We support cities in the management of mobility, road infrastructure, and urban space. The company's team consists of a specialist in such areas as geoinformation, mobile mapping, include LiDAR, sensor fusion, and geopositioning. Broadly understood data science, but also software development and cloud computing. And it is a mix of competences and knowledge that allows us to create some innovation solutions. Smart Factor cooperates with public and private sectors. We have already worked with local governments, general constructors, gaming and autonomous mobility, and telecommunication and energy sectors. And as you can see, we have already worked with cities like Warsaw, Krakow, Poznań, and Gdynia. And our partners, for example, are Warsaw University of Technology, Krakow University of Technology, Visa, and Intel. And if we're talking about technology, we have built mobile mapping systems that are equipped with integrated devices, such as GNS RTK geopositioning system, LiDAR laser scanners, and HUD cameras. Due to our mobile mapping systems, we collect high-quality data in a field such as 3D point cloud, which is a three-dimensional representation of a street area, street imagery, including 360-degree photos. And gathered data allow us to create new information products, such as HUD road orthophoto map and GIS database. All objects along the road, including road surface, infrastructure, road signs, greenery, advertisements in public space, and street furniture. The system also enables for create a digital twin of a city, which allows to effectively manage roads, infrastructure, and urban space. And the data is processed semi-automatically and automatically, and some of them manually with use of GIS software. And right now we are working on increasing the level of automatic data processing. We also develop an intelligent system for road infrastructure management. It is a smart gem based on cloud computing, allows for data integration from multiple sources such as 3D point cloud, road imagery, and GIS data. And it is a complex tool, not only for management, but also for visualizing some data, like digital maps, spatial data, and preparing documents required by law. And yeah, our solution based on data from multiple sources. Based on GIS, CATCH, and local and global level. And process of our activity following some steps. First of them is road inventory to check the situation in a space. And then we integrate data from multiple sources and making some data science analysis. And after post-processing, data and information are uploaded online to our SmartGem system. And SmartGem is not only a web platform, but also a mobile application. And main use of our solutions, it's road infrastructure and public space management. It is a complex solution, supports maintenance processes and planning and development of city infrastructure based on a SmartGem system, street level data and mobile 3D scanning, and inventory of the road infrastructure and roadway. We also provide some solution for visual smog reduction based on the mobile mapping measurements and artificial intelligence. We are able to indicate the illegal advertisements in public space. And this is a great opportunity for better outdoor advertising management. And another field of our activity is mobility management. It is optimization of parking zones performance based on AI solutions and geo-positioning. And if we're talking about optimization for parking zones, compared to traditional methods, we provide complete, reliable data and then carry out numerous parking analyses based on them, which are necessary in the process of shaping and managing paid parking zones. By using our innovation mobile mapping systems, we can calculate, for example, filling the parking zones, parking slots turnover, average time of parking in parking zones, and parking capacity. Okay, so that was about us, and let's talk about smart city concept and some implementations in Polish cities. Polish cities face a lot of development challenges, including particular economic development during and after pandemic, the consequences of climate change, the quality of the environment, especially air condition, human migrations, aging of population, and spatial planning crisis, causing spatial chaos, which, for example, increases the cost of infrastructure development and maintenance, and forces increased mobility of residents. And at the same time, the residents' expectation in terms of quality of life, optimization of the local government's operation, and the effectiveness of the municipal services are growing. Another challenge is the digital revolution and the proper use of the opportunities it brings. All these challenges are connected by their interdisciplinary and complex nature, which requires intersectoral cooperation and a new approach to city management, which can also be called one of the challenges for Polish cities, but not separate. The expectation of the inhabitants result from the faster digital transformation in other sectors. Okay, but the answer for the need for integrated city management is the idea of a smart city. So what does it mean, smart city? Smart city is an innovation city which uses science, information, and communication technology and other methods to improve the quality of life for citizens, to provide better quality of government services, and to increase the competitiveness. And along with that's all is going along with concentration on the current and future generation needs, and due regard for economic, social, and environmental values. And in order to the city to work in a model smart city, there is a need to introduce changes in some 5 dimensions. The first of them is a strategy, smart city, what strategies and actions plans are in place to initiate action and integration of technologies, enabling the reform of services and cooperation. Another one is the data, intelligent execution of IT tasks, invest in countermeasures, data integration and analysis. Technologies, invest in a flexible, open and scalable ID architectures and efficient technologies that enable innovation in the delivery of city services, administration and services provision. Effective smart cities adapt organizational models of service delivery to make the best use of technology and data opportunities. And stakeholder commitment, using of the data and information to invest in openness and transparency. Participation tools, not only digital, are implemented, and projects are carried out for a deepened cooperation within the city. The Polish market of smart city solutions is growing at a rate of approximately 20% annually. The key areas of city operation in the implementation of a smart city are sustainable of mobility, digitalization of management processes and services, energy efficiency, technical infrastructure, and quality of life. And the ecosystem of smart city companies growing so fast. We have many great companies in Poland with a long history, or startups, which specialize in a smart city concept by creating some innovation platforms, some devices, and solutions. We have not too much time to introduce all of those great companies, but I can tell you some fields of activity, like digital transformation, cybersecurity, transport management, public transport, education, spatial information, infrastructure inventory, clear air, energy efficiency, and some other. In the area of implementing smart city solutions in Poland, the leading cities are, of course, the largest cities, such as Warsaw, Krakow, or Wrocław, but also smaller cities such as Gdynia, Rzeszów, and Kielce are active. Both governmental and non-governmental institutions, such as the Association of Polish Cities, place emphasis on supporting smaller cities in the implementation of smart city solutions. And in recent years, the following nationwide programs have been implemented under which smart city projects are realized. So the first one is Human Smart Cities. The program supports pilot implementations in 24 cities in the areas like building the information society, support for the development of sustainable urban mobility, including electromobility, establishing intersectoral and intergovernmental cooperation, support for the security of information and communication systems, and developing intelligent spatial planning in cities and their functional areas. Another program is a local development program. Includes 29 cities which have implemented integrated development project, including environmental, social, and economic companies. And the program is financed by Norwegian and European Economic Area funds, and it is operated by the Ministry of Funds and Regional Policy with the support of the Association of Polish Cities. And Polish Development Fund Group for Cities. It is a program connecting innovative companies with local governments that want to implement some innovations. The program is implemented by the Polish Development Fund. And as a part of the program, there are, among others, some hackathons for cities, online courses, expert of this city of the future, some technology map for cities, urban innovation database, anti-crisis platform, and few more. And now let's talk about good practices in Polish cities. In today's presentation, I will show you literally a few selected examples of how Polish cities implement smart city solutions. And the first of them is Warsaw and City Contact Center called 19115. This solution allows for report some problems in the city space or to share some ideas to improve the city functioning. And it is easy and fast because you can use a web platform as well as a mobile application to connect with the service. And there are many contact channels for different cases. And it is available 24 hours a week. So 24 hours, 7 days a week, yes. And another solution, Vision Zero in Jaworzno. The purpose was improving of the standard living in a city and increase of the road traffic safety. And the tools they were used were road infrastructure investments to rebuild of 30% streets to minimize road traffic, and public transport reform. And as a result, 33% of the city road traffic comes from public transport, and city gains a new range, and it is known as a modern and citizen friendly. Ostrów Wielkopolski. The main purpose was to create energy self-sufficient city, what means maximum own energy production, and it was based on a low emission public transport. And expected benefits was lower electricity bills, cheaper public transport, new workplaces, and improving the quality of the environment. Another solution is sustainable smart city management using urban geographical information system in the city of Kielce. And city spatial information system in Kielce is the one of the most extensive systems in Poland, supports nearly 200 administrative procedures, and it's used by 500 internal users. Due to the fact that almost all city data is related to the map as a common denominator, Cooperation between many cities departments is possible. The system uses many different data sources and also makes many of them available as open data. The key components of this system are a geoportal service with access to special data and related services, and a platform for a social participation named Idea Kielce. Another solution supported by Polish Development Fund Group for cities is an intelligent monitoring reduces crime system. That system consists of 300 cameras supported by AI technology and face recognition software. And the identified problems was high crime, low work efficiency of monitoring observers, need to increase support for law enforcement services, and lack of information about events or its dispersion. And as a result, at the beginning of the last decade, Katowice was often in the top of many rankings of the most dangerous cities in Poland. And solutions implemented in 2016 results in a lower number of crimes, especially in car theft. Also, a detection of crimes in this category increased significantly. Another solution is integrated vehicle sharing, not only for cyclists, and this solution based on a mobile application, which integrate many transport equipments in one place, in one system. It's not only bicycles, but also scooters. Identified problems was traffic congestion in city centers with cars left unused most of the time, high cost of individual transport, lack of the integrity of systems, offering rental of personal transport equipment, and a problem with traveling the last kilometer by public transport passengers. And as a result, city provide to residents zero emission transport system, which integrates several types of vehicles in one system, and that increased the transport accessibility of many parts of the city. And the last one, a solution also supported by Polish Development Fund Group for cities. It's an intelligent water metering system, which consists of installation of 1,100 modern water meters equipped with access to GSM network, enabling ongoing monitoring of water consumption and sending accurate data to the control panel where they are subject of analysis. And identified problems were lack of a system for monitoring water supply system failures, old water meters that are abusive and require the work of many people, gathering high maintenance costs for the water supplies network, and lack of financial resources for the large-scale investment in a new system. And as a result, the scaling of the water measurement system translates into lower losses and increases savings, and more effective identification and elimination of failures and leaks in the infrastructure, which means increased savings. Okay, so I think that's all. That's all I want to tell you. If you have more questions, you can ask after another presentation. You can email us, or you can visit our website, smartfactor.pl, where you can find more of our solutions, of visualization of our sources, of our data, of our tools and services we provide. So thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Alicja, for your presentation. Thank you for the definition of the concept of smart city itself, because it is important to remember that there are so many areas that need to be integrated: social, economical, environmental, and this is important, that there are many, there are also many possibilities, many opportunities to work with local authorities, offering them different services and solutions. And thank you very much for that. The numbers you have shown are impressive, numbers of growth, actually. So it also means that Poland is a very very perspective market that offers those development perspectives. And also you have mentioned the different size of cities and towns, different programs, support programs that work both in big cities and small towns, even villages. We know the concept of smart village, so this is also an interesting area. Maybe later on we can comment a little bit about new tendencies or tendencies you see as a smart factor and areas. You have shown those areas, actually talking about cybersecurity, education, different areas, but maybe you can select 3-4 of them that you see especially interesting right now and in the coming years. Now I would like to ask Aleksandra Kłonowska-Drozd, head of foreign investment in Wrocław Agglomeration Development Agency, to tell us why Wrocław, what you do in smart city sector, and how foreign companies may participate in the project you implement in your city. I know you are going to talk a little bit in the name of the City Council of Wrocław also, because their smart city team is traveling today and they have asked you to do so. Am I right, Aleksandra?
Exactly.
The floor is yours.
Thank you very much. Hello, everybody. My name is Aleksandra Kłonowska-Drozd. In Polish, Aleksandra, short for Aleksandra, is Ola. I represent Wrocław Agglomeration Development Agency. I will say a few words about our agency, who we are, what we do, and then I'll also mention about the smart city activities, because yes, the team is traveling today, so they were not able to join the webinar. But I hope I'll present in a nutshell what they are doing, what the city is doing in this matter, and of course later on I can contact you with the representatives, so there is no problem. So let us start. Wrocław Agglomeration Development Agency, and maybe I will also turn off the vision because I sometimes have some shortages in internet, so some clicks, so let me just switch it off and make sure that you hear everything. So our agency, Wrocław Agglomeration Development Agency, was created on the turn of the year 2005-2006 to support investors. It is a municipal agency. It was first such an agency in Poland. Right now, it is owned by 33 communes, including the city of Wrocław. So the idea is that we represent those communes, promote them, and attract foreign direct investments to this agglomeration. But we also support local companies, Polish local companies, in their development in this region. We are also the local partner of Polish Investment and Trade Agency, so the national agency that is responsible also for promoting and export of Polish companies abroad, but also attracting foreign direct investment into Poland. When we talk about our activities, our support offered to companies, to investors in the region, the scope is very broad. Here I have identified certain areas which are probably most common, most frequently used. So this would be the general project support. So ARAF supports in the opening of a new project. It is like a partner that tells the investor and supports in contacts with whomever it is necessary to meet in all the procedures, everything what is required by the investor. We try to provide the investor with the information, where to do what and with whom. And we also facilitate or support the development of the local startup ecosystem. We have a dedicated team to startups. This is also a very important aspect of our everyday activities. We prepare reports and dedicated analysis. So we collect data, market data. We cooperate with partners that specialize in given subject. We write together dedicated reports. Whatever is necessary, whatever the investor needs, we try to provide this information for the investor. We also support in PR and branding because as part of our activities, we are also responsible for the official website of City of Wrocław, www.wroclaw.pl. So we use also this means to present information on interesting projects of companies, of new companies present or that who entered the market. We also have a dedicated TV team that records short videos informing citizens of Wrocław about what's going on in the city. We also support in networking, of course. We organize various events throughout a year, providing business representatives with the opportunities to meet small with big businesses, to meet with business environment institutions, simply to conduct their businesses well and to develop further. We also support in cooperation with universities. The Wrocław universities are very open to cooperation, so this is a field that we can also help. Also within our structure, there is a program and project study in Wrocław, within which we attract young people from the East to come to Poland for studies. And when they come, they frequently stay and become talents, additional talents, supporting the local labor market. The most important thing I would like to mention that we can support in is the legalization of stay and work. These are the procedures that from employees from outside of EU may take lots of time at the Dolnośląski Urząd Wojewódzki, so at the institution which is responsible for granting jobs and stay permits. And based on an agreement between the municipality of Wrocław and the Urząd and the dedicated local voivodeship's office, there is a team of specialists within our structure that supports foreign employees in applying for all those permits. So this is something I think very interesting for investors. Here we can also support. Generally, when we talk about new investments, and from what we have learned throughout the years, cooperating with business, with new projects, why they choose Wrocław, it's mostly because of the 6 factors, because of the perfect location and connectivity, because of the competent and creative talents, because of the recognized university hub, innovation and creativity, high quality of life, and business friendliness. And I will elaborate a little bit more on some of those aspects. So, for example, strategic location and connectivity. Wrocław is very well connected by air with major European transfer hubs. The airport, international airport, is located just 10 kilometers away from the city center, so it's quite easy and quick to get there. And in 2019, prior the pandemic, we served 3.5 million passengers, which was a really large number. Then, of course, the pandemic struck, and then again some additional events, international events, the war with Ukraine, which drastically influenced the air traffic. However, we are coming back to the regular routes and to this number of served passengers. And what is interesting is that the capacity of the airport is really huge, and the airport authorities are the possibility to develop is even to serve 7 million passengers a year. And one more important thing quickly to mention is that the authorities of the airport are very open to cooperation with business, and they open new connection accordingly to the requirements of the local businesses. This is, for example, the creation of Zurich flights after the development of large Swiss companies here in Wrocław, like Credit Suisse and UBS. The connectivity means also the road connections, and the development of the road infrastructure in whole Poland is constantly improving. Our localization is great because we are quite closely connected with the same kilometer distance to not only to our Warsaw capital, Polish capital, but also to Berlin and Prague. So very convenient connection. And railway infrastructure, so a railway system in our city and outside of our city is also constantly developing, serving as the support for the communication of citizens, so that citizens living outside of the city can quite quickly get to the city center. And as they come to the city center, they can use the public transportation system, which is also right now undergoing additional improvements and reconfigurations, so that in the future, the communication, the commuting within the city will be even quicker and more comfortable. Strong and diversified economy. So our agglomeration, we are really proud that it is very well developed and diversified. Since the existence of our agency, we have been lucky to serve 250 investment projects that decided to establish their facilities here in the agglomeration. They created over 110,000 new jobs, and 52,500 are jobs that are being created in the modern business services sector. When you see at the slide the industries that are very important to our community are both the production sector and the modern business services. And what is important that we have the examples of companies that came to Wrocław years ago. They really find this place attractive, and they further developed. So companies that started with production introduced R&D centers to their facilities, and also decided to open the shared service activities. So we see that those that came here really liked the atmosphere, really saw the potential, and were able to develop and thrive. In those companies, of course, we have great talent and skilled professionals. And when we talk about talents and professionals, it is also important to mention that Wrocław is a very vibrant academic center. So we are one of the largest such students' hubs in Poland. In total, we have 108,000 students. That gives us approximately 29,000 graduates yearly. In the area, we have 28 universities and higher education institutions. These are both public and private. We are proud to have the first British university here in Wrocław. It is the first British university in Poland, and it is the Coventry University, also a university that answers the business needs and cooperates with business very closely. Wrocław is an innovation-driven city, so there are over 100 R&D and IT centers. We have over 50 accredited labs, over 18 incubators, And the main research areas that we noticed are IT, engineering, chemistry and pharmaceutics, biotech and nanotech, but also a very vivid startup ecosystem. And our team from our agency is responsible for kind of, keeping up with this ecosystem and making it more and more vivid and providing it possibilities to meet with large businesses, to cooperate, to start new projects. So Wrocław is the second largest startup hub in Poland right now after Warsaw, with over 200 startups. And when we talk about the region of Lower Silesia, for example, so the voivodeships in Poland, so Lower Silesia is the region which has the greatest density of startups, one startup per 4,500 inhabitants. Also a little bit of the data from our report, IT report from 2019, that 60%, more than 60% IT companies are involved in deep tech projects, and over 36,000 IT specialists are working in IT tech sector. We are just working on an updated version of the report, so we will be glad to share with the new information as soon as the report is finished. And those companies, the business services sector, the IT companies can easily develop their offices because they can find their spaces because we have a very well developed property market. It is mostly located in the city center and the subcentral zone. There are also two additional zones that we can kind of notice: Western Business District, Southern Business District, all very well connected by the public transportation system. Our city is also great for newcomers with high quality of life. It is the meeting place with various possibilities to spend free time. So museums, zoological garden, opera house, musical theater, the Japanese garden, lots of possibilities to spend free time. What is important is that Wrocław has worked hard for the last 15, 20 years to be recognizable on an international scale. That's why we applied and were lucky to host some of the international events. So for example, the World Games in 2017. We have lots of international festivals out, but we also have European Film Academy and Film Awards. We hosted in 2012 the Euro 2012 football championships, and in 2018 we were the European Capital of Culture together with San Sebastian. We were also best destination in 2018, so a little bit of international recognition has been, I hope, done. I've mentioned about international or cultural events that take place yearly. Just a few to mention, to show here: American Film Festival, Classical Music Festival, lots of activities to participate in. But the city also very open and listening to the needs of the companies, to the new trends, to what's going on around the world. And for example, Wrocław was the first Polish city to join European Coalition of Cities Against Racism. In 2021, the Declaration on Tolerance and Respect for Human Rights has been established. And we have also an advisor to the mayor of Wrocław on tolerance and counteracting xenophobia. There are also lots of organizations supporting minorities and a lot of activities organized by the municipality to support it. An expat community, it is very large here in Wrocław due to businesses, due to other issues, and of course a very large community right now of Ukrainian people who came to Wrocław years ago, but also recently the Ukrainian refugees. And last but not least, finally, the smart city Wrocław, this concept in our city. So the idea of Wrocław as a smart city, the city which constantly improves the quality of life, that constantly develops in a sustainable way using newest technological solutions. This notion is very important for the authorities of the city, but also for the citizens themselves. They are very much aware that they can, and they have to participate in creating the new city. So the pillars of this concept that the city is constantly working on are presented here. So the mobility, infrastructure, governance, people, lifestyle, education, environment, and economy. But what I would like to mention again and underline is that the participation and the consultancy of the citizens is here very kind of active, very important. People, Wrocław residents do take active part in all public consultations. One of such an example here in Wrocław would be, for example, a city lab concept. This is a new project. This is a concept, an idea that the city is simply a lab where entrepreneurs, startups, scientists can use the city for testing solutions, for testing their solutions. This is a very nice cooperation. The city acquires knowledge about the method and effectiveness of a given solution. The company has real-life environment testing for the product or for the solution. So this is a great cooperation. Here an example would be in some of the Wrocław parks as dedicated air testing stations were implemented to check whether in parks, in green areas, when the air generally in the city is very bad, the stations test whether in parks the air is good, and so the mother with kids can go there and spend some time outside. Another new pilot project is the traffic management program. So the city of Wrocław, in cooperation with Deep Traffic, this is a startup, a Greek startup, cooperates using and testing the technology of monitoring and managing the traffic flow within the city. And the last pilot project I would like to mention is the digital twin. So the city of Wrocław has established cooperation with Turku Science Park in Finland as part of the Smart City Digital Twin project. This is a very fresh project. The aim of it is to cooperate, to exchange service, business experience, and technological knowledge. So I hope it will develop quickly, and as soon as we learn some more about it and have some visible outcomes, we will be glad to share with you with the information. And of course, here are my contact details. So whether the smart city activities or Wrocław business activities, you can contact us, and we will be here to help you, to support you. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Alexandra. In the meantime, I encourage the audience to make questions on the chat. Please use this opportunity, having the representative of one of the most innovative Polish cities with us and one of the most innovative companies working in the sector of smart city. Thank you, Alexandra, for the two parts of your presentation. On one hand, the services of your agency, which may be also very interesting for Andalusian companies, like as you mentioned, the networking services and the events you organize. This is always a good occasion to know local business, foreign investors already present in Wrocław, as well as the PR and branding activities, which I like very much, because we can follow up the events you organize, the activities you organize, and together with the networking, it's really interesting. Attracting talents may be one of the most sensitive issues nowadays in every part of Europe. There is a lack of talent in every sector of the economy, actually, and with such a wide base of universities and talents entering the labor market each year. So Wrocław, it's really a very attractive place for setting up or expanding the business. You have mentioned a few different characteristics of the agglomeration and the city itself, like high quality of life, innovation, industry 4.0. So these are the areas, of course, connected with smart city and very interesting for providers of smart city solutions. We would appreciate, of course, sharing with us the report. You have mentioned the report about startup ecosystem. Thank you in advance for this, and also talking about Wrocław and the smart city projects. The Wrocław is hosting, especially the City Lab, which is worth mentioning. Activity and openness of the city, an open invitation for Andalusian companies to test their solutions, to get in touch with the city representatives and try to implement the solutions in in the reality, actually, of the city streets and areas, green areas, for example. Thanks again for your presentation. There is one question on the chat. How do you think the inflation in Polish economy could affect in cities like Wrocław to the arrival of new international companies, even their permanence there? I don't know, Alexandra, whether you are ready to answer this question, very important one.
So yes, we see this this is a question raised by companies that are already present. However, there is still, the cost of living and the salaries still of talents here. They were very much lower than in Western Europe for many years. So this is like, the basic level, and there is still looking forward. So there is still a large competitiveness, or the potential of our city and our talents is still huge. The talents that we have here, the quality of living, although the inflation is getting higher, it is still very attractive and offering high quality for many companies. Also, those that have been present here for years, they still see kind of the ecosystem that they are in. There are lots of additional things that they see, and these are very good aspects for them. So we'll see how it goes. Hopefully the inflation will stop. We hear the signals that it is kind of slowing down. We cannot say the final effects, and probably some companies will be kind of will resign, maybe the smaller ones, from the starting activities, but we do not see it on a larger scale right now. It's still probably too short a time.
Thank you, Alexandra. It's really a complex issue, actually, because there are different factors of the inflation itself, but you are right that the pace of the inflation is slowing down, and this is maybe the hope we have here in Poland, because Olga, you are right also that the inflation in Poland is very high, and but the authorities also, the national authorities are also trying to slow it down and to stop it if it is possible. But as Alexandra mentioned, there is still a room for a margin for the salaries increase, for example, or other costs of operation in Poland. Thanks to the competitiveness of the local workforce and the other factors of work. Thank you very much. Thank you, Olga, for your question. Maybe there are other questions, or yep. Thanks for the info. Very interesting. Thank you, representatives of Heimdall Technologies. Maybe Alexandra, as you have mentioned different events that Wrocław has hosted in the past few years, maybe you can talk about the coming events that you will host in the city and in the agglomeration connected with smart city sector. Probably there are events potentially interesting for our companies.
Sure. So actually,
or maybe cyclical. You have mentioned startup ecosystem, and probably there are some cyclical events that repeat every year, and we can follow them and participate in them.
Sure, we have, like, each year, I mean, the pandemic kind of stopped us down and we went online, but the team our startup team tries to nevertheless organize at least like twice a year smaller events and one large startup evolution. So this is the event where the companies can meet and cooperate and discuss. We have each year we have a large conference made in Wrocław, which also gathers large businesses, but not only. This is also a space for startups, for other companies. It is a business conference, but it is frequently accompanied either by small fairs or like a presentation of other business communities or local companies showing what they are doing here in our region. Of course, it is a great potential for networking. Also, this year we will be involved in event in Karpacz, so economical forum. So again, possibility of contacts, of participation. And it will be the best if I provide you with a list, and you will be able to share with the participants of this webinar, so they can see which one would be most suitable thematically, and maybe it will be the possibility for them to come visit Wrocław and participate in the event.
Perfect. Thank you very much. As you have mentioned that there are events for bigger and smaller companies, maybe I would like to ask you about potentially if an Andalusian company wants to come to Poland and present themselves in a public tender or for a project to be implemented in a city. Do you think, both of you, Alicia and Alexandra, do you think it is worth having a local partner to help the Andalusian company to move in these bureaucratic issues, or the process is not so difficult and they may come by themselves without any special help, I mean, from the local partner. I mean, for example, in the City Lab or of Wrocław or Smart Factor, as your experience from presenting your offer to in public tenders in generally.
Okay, so maybe I will answer. Yeah, for me, I think it is desirable to have a local partner because of some conditions and specific in cities. Often at technical dialogue is a pretender stage. It is necessary to present some solutions, some possibilities in response to needs of cities. So yeah, this is another field to have a local partner. And also local law, despite that they are both based on the same European directive. Sometimes it's some special specific things in a local law. So it is, yeah, I think it is important to have a local partner to deal with it.
Mm-hmm. Thank you, Alicia. Sometimes it's a formal requirement described in the conditions you have to fulfill, right? So you have to have a local partner.
Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm. Thank you very much.
Exactly, and it's much convenient. I mean, as Alicia has said, the legal aspects of conducting a business or certain activity here in Poland may be sometimes very complicated, so it's much easier and convenient to have a local partner.
Mm-hmm. Thank you, Alexandra. Olga is asking whether this support focus on IT and startups mainly, or also is offered to companies or other sectors.
When we talk about our activities, we support all types of companies. I mean, all companies that create new job places here in the region, because after all, our idea is to create job places for the citizens of Wrocław, to provide them with possibilities of developing their careers, pursuing their careers. So production, services, we support all companies.
Mm-hmm. Thank you, Alexandra. Maybe there are more questions. Okay, if there are no further questions, maybe someone wants to write down another one. In the meantime, I would like to sum up a little bit our session and present a few services that may be interesting for Andalusian companies offered by our agency, by Extenda agency. So once again, thank you very much for our partners of today's webinar. And just to underline that all Extenda services are described on our website, Spanish website, www.extenda.es, which you can find different areas dedicated to different stages of your international expansion. So when you are considering your international expansion, maybe you can use those services. You can see here on this site from our consulting department, and the range is very wide from legal issues, building your strategy, analyzing foreign markets, transportation, and marketing, for example. In the case of smart city sector, connected often with public tenders, as we have mentioned, you may probably need some specific training or workshop. Here you can find the information, and if it is not clear enough, there is a dedicated email. You may contact our colleagues in Seville and they explain you how it works. And once you decide going abroad with Extenda, you have access to all the services available in different markets. We are present in more than 60 markets all over the world. For example, today we are offering you a webinar on smart city sector in Poland. So this is an example of such services. From my part, that's all. Thank you very much for your attention. And I will check again the chat. I cannot see more questions. So thank you again, Aleksandra Kłonowska-Drozd from ARAF Agency, Wrocław Agglomeration Development Agency, and Alicja Czaplicka from Smart Factor. Thank you for your time, for sharing your experience in the sector, and we stay in touch.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Thanks again. Have a good day for everybody.